What's up, everyone? Mule Kick Media, and with Suicide Squad coming to cinemas today, actually, at the time of recording this video, because it's the Friday and Suicide Squad releases worldwide today. I decided to, do my review for Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Edition, which actually recently came out on Blu-ray. Finally, even though it was out on normal DVD beforehand, I'd watched it on that, so I've already seen the Ultimate Edition before it came out on Blu-ray. And I thought I might as well do my review because I am going to be going to watch Suicide Squad tomorrow on a Saturday. So hopefully I will try and get my review out on that same day, or maybe Sunday. It depends on when I've got the time to be able to make the video. But if I do, I will definitely make the review for it. But yeah, here's my review for Batman v Superman. A very controversial movie, kind of like Suicide Squad because it's getting similar reviews. Like, people either love this movie or hate it. The Marvel fanboys are incoming, so yeah, let's get straight into it. So, with Batman v Superman, I was not particularly massively hyped for this movie. If I'm going to be completely honest here, without anyone trying to shoot me or kill me in the comment sections, I was more anticipating for Civil War, to be honest, because I wasn't a fan of Man of Steel. I wasn't the biggest fan of that movie. And with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it'd have been good and okay. Like, I felt like Winter Soldier was the only one that I felt that was, what I could call a great movie, and the Avengers in some parts, because I wasn't a big fan of Age of Ultron, and the majority of the movies are good to okay, in my opinion. Like, didn't really blow me away massively. But obviously, because there've been more movies of that, and I wasn't a fan of Man of Steel, I was more anticipating Civil War. So when it came to actually getting into Batman v Superman, I went and watched it, I think, a week after it initially came out in cinemas. Because I'd seen the reviews and it did put me off going for a while, but I decided I might as well go watch it anyway. I went to watch it and I thought it was good. The theatrical version was okay. Um, it was nothing more than an okay movie, the theatrical version, but the ultimate cut was much better. When I watched the ultimate cut, I will admit it feels like the more complete version of the movie, and it's the version that if you're going to go and buy the film on DVD, buy the ultimate edition. It's so much better than the theatrical version. They should have released this version in the cinemas. I don't know why they didn't. It was just kind of stupid not to, because this is the version that everyone needs to watch. So, of course, everyone knows the story. It takes place after Man of Steel, and basically Superman has to answer for the damage that he caused to Metropolis after that big, climactic third act fight against Zod in Man of Steel. And Batman basically, obviously, turns out was there at the time, and the destruction that Superman caused ended up actually destroying Wayne Enterprises building in Metropolis, and also, like, killing and injuring quite a few people. So because of that, Batman has a vendetta against Superman, and obviously Superman ends up going to grow a vendetta against Batman, and then basically they end up fighting. That's pretty much the plot of the movie in a summary nutshell. I don't want to spoil too much because there is quite a bit of plot for this movie, but let's just go through the things I did and didn't like. Things I did like. Frickin' Batfleck. Ben Affleck as Batman was by far the best part of this movie, and it's kind of convenient because we all probably thought he was going to be the worst part of this movie 3 years ago. Like, he killed it as Batman. Is he the best version of Batman? He probably may well be, and I don't know whether... I'm not 100% sure on that statement, to be honest, because obviously Christian Bale, I loved him as Batman, and obviously he's been in it for 3 movies. Ben Affleck's only been in it for one. So I'm not too sure, but I think after I watch Justice League, I'll be able to form like a much more solid opinion on whether I think Ben Affleck is a better Batman than Christian Bale. But he was awesome in the movie, and his fight scene where he takes on all them guards, them thugs, like Arkham style. It was just so amazing to watch. Like, anybody who tells you that that's fight scene, and you know which one I'm on about, if anyone tries to tell you that fight scene was not epic to watch, they have been watching a completely different movie, because that fight scene was amazing. Like, probably the best Batman fight scene ever on film. It was so amazing. Also, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Now, I never thought Gal Gadot was going to be terrible as Wonder Woman, but the only movie I'd actually seen her in is the Fast and Furious films, and I didn't think she was that good in them, but I held up my expectations, and she actually did really well. Does she feel kind of tacked on? Yes, sort of, but I still liked her presence in the movie, and she was very, very good. I'm definitely anticipating her solo movie that's going to be coming out next year, so I can't wait to go and watch that. I liked quite a lot of the scenery that Zack Snyder was able to capture in the film. It's very, very good. You know, even some panels that really did remind me a lot of The Dark Knight Returns, which is obviously an awesome Batman comic, so I loved that. And I like that it tried to address the controversy behind Man of Steel, like how the fuck is Superman a hero if he causes so much damage to Metropolis. And I like how they answered that, even though if they didn't answer it in the best of ways. And the fight sequences in general are very, very well done. Just the action itself is very, very good in my opinion. But now we get on to the negatives. Because anybody who tries to call this movie a masterpiece, you need to watch The Shawshank Redemption or Pulp Fiction or The Godfather. Any movie that is much better than this. Because this movie, although good, is not a masterpiece. And I'm going to explain why. First off, the amount of plot holes in this movie is absolutely stupid. There are so many plot holes in this movie, in particular the theatrical cut. Like, I'll give it credit. In the Ultimate Edition, or the Ultimate Cut, or whatever you want to call it, there is not as many plot holes. They do actually fill in quite a few of these with the extra half an hour that they're given, which I do accept and appreciate, but there are some plot holes that aren't, like, resolved at all. I mean, it's kind of stupid, and I'm not going to list all of them, but there are quite a few, and I did notice them, and most of these I did notice when I watched them the first time in cinemas, and it really is stupid. Like, that's my biggest problem with Zack Snyder, is that I feel like because he didn't have an exact source material to directly copy the story off, and he's had to obviously someone else write the story. He can't really balance the visuals with a great story. Like, the only film where I feel like he's actually been able to do that is Watchmen. Like, it's the only movie that he's done that's been able to combine his visual style with a great story. But that was based off an already fantastic graphic novel, so he really didn't have to do that much there. Whereas with Batman v Superman, the script just was all over the place in terms of plot holes, and also the first 2 hours are just filled with congressional hearings that are so boring to me. Like you advertise this movie as Batman v Superman. They don't even fight until after the 2 hour mark, and they only fight for 8 minutes because they stop fighting for the most dumbest reason ever. And I have to put this as a negative because it was such a stupid scene in the movie. The Martha scene. It's so dumb. Like, I don't get why the fuck they have to stop fighting just because both of their moms share a common name. Like, if I am beating someone in a fight and their mom's name is Martha, I am not going to stop beating them up. It's just stupid. And how quickly they become friends as well. It's just such bad writing, in my opinion. It really, I just did not buy into their friendship at all after the fight. Like, the fight itself is cool, but how they become friends in the Martha scene, God, it is so cringy. Also, Lex Luthor. I hated Lex Luthor in this movie. One of the worst villains of recent memory. I hated him so much. He was such a bad villain. He wasn't threatening. He was just some Weasley-ass college kid. You know, your typical college kid who thinks he's a smart ass. He just wasn't a good villain at all. He completely shitted on the legacy of Lex Luthor in films. Like, I thought Kevin Spacey did a good job of him in, Superman Returns, and Gene Hackman did a really good job at playing him, but Jesse Eisenberg was so miscast. Like, as soon as they revealed that Jesse Eisenberg was going to be in this movie, I knew he was miscast. I knew he probably wasn't going to do that well, because I just had that feeling within me, and it turns out I was right in my opinion, because it just wasn't that great in the movie. I hated his portrayal of Lex Luthor. He was so bad, and I don't care if anybody comes up with the excuse, oh, he's his son or whatever. I don't care. He's still Lex Luthor, and he was still shit. In my opinion, it was just stupid. And also, Doomsday. Why did you have to put Doomsday in this movie? There was no need to put him in the movie. Like, there wasn't. There was no need to put him in. They tried to cram in so much stuff into this film. Like, you could have made, like, 3 awesome movies by separating the content from this and putting it into 3 movies. That would have been much better. But no, they have to cram in everything. They have to cram in a Flash cameo. They have to cram in an Aquaman cameo. They have to cram in a Cyborg cameo. Darkseid, Parademons, Doomsday, Death of Superman. They cram in way too much stuff into this movie. It's so shoved full of things because it's like, oh, we've got to set up the Justice League. We've got to set up all these things. We've not had the movies to be able to do this beforehand, so let's just cram it all into a 3-hour movie. It's so bad of how badly they try to cram all of this stuff in. And also, if you have seen that second trailer for this movie, you've pretty much already seen the end of the film. Like, if you've seen the trailers, it spoils so much, and I'm so annoyed that the marketing team decided to show what they showed for the trailers because it was just stupid. It spoils so much of the movie. It really is annoying. But there are my negatives for the movie. I mean, as I say, I'm very conflicted for this movie, and particularly the Ultimate Edition, because even though, yeah, it does fix a few of the problems, and it's much better than the theatrical version, it's far from a masterpiece. I don't love this movie, but I definitely liked it. So for my final score, I'm going to give Batman v Superman a 7. I think I can't give it any more than a 7, because it's just too flawed a movie to be rated, in my opinion, anything above a 7. But at least it's better than Arkham Knight, so that's a good thing. But yeah, that's my review for Batman v Superman. Like I said, I'm going to try and get my review up for Suicide Squad on Saturday or Sunday. Depends on what day and if I have the time. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you again next time for my Suicide Squad movie review. So see you then.